Alright guys, in today's video we're going to be talking about how to add under cabinet lights like these here with the Gledopto controller, the K2 Home Tech light strip. So don't forget to check out K2 Home Tech to find all your supplies. Like this video, comment on this video, and subscribe to this video. And or subscribe to the channel rather, and we're going to be giving away one of these controllers and one of these LED light strips. So you can do this to your own cabinets, your own kitchen at home. We'll be giving those away on March 30th. So make sure you're entered. And good luck to you. Thanks for watching. Alright, hey guys, this is Adam from K2 Home Tech, and today I'm going to be putting under cabinet LED strips in this kitchen. Been getting a lot of requests for this lately, so I figured it's time to make a video for it. Why not just do it? Been meaning to do it here anyway. So what you need to do any project, we have a couple videos out there on the LED strip setup and how to make your own, but we'll cover it real quick here. What you need obviously is an LED strip. This is an IP20 24 volt rgb+cct LED strip, and rgb+cct just stands for you have your RGB LED, then you have CCT, which is correlated color temperature, which is just basically warm white and cool white. So you can go between 2700 Kelvin to 6000 Kelvin, somewhere in there, whether you like the daylight or the warm light. You're going to need a power supply. The size of your power supply is going to be dictated by your LED strip. This LED strip is 20 watts a meter, so about 120 watts total, or 100 watts total, sorry, 5 times 20. And then this provides 24 volts, 4 amps, so 96 watts of power. So that's 100 watts of power with all of them on, which you're not going to have with the 1AD controller. And I'll have another video on how to tell what a 1ID versus a 2ID, what they do. And then you need your LED strip controller. And for that we use these Gledopto LED strip controllers. These work with Philips Hue, Samsung SmartThings, Habitat, and Amazon Echo Plus. So these are Zigbee, any Zigbee hub pretty much. I haven't found one yet that it doesn't work with, so they work with all of them. And this will take the 6-wire LED strip. And then on this side you have your power connector for your barrel connector, and it also takes a positive and negative wire as well. So in case you don't have a barrel connector, or if you're using one of those bigger power supplies where you just wire it directly, you can. Now the basis for any LED strip is these 3 components. Now if you wanted to get fancy, if you wanted to, let's say you wanted to put this all together real close to each other, works out great because you got your wires right here on the end of your LED strip. All goes together. But what happens if you wanted to mount these inside and you wanted to put this outside, or you wanted to put this somewhere where it's not convenient to put a power supply and controller? Then what you do is you just run some extension cable. This extension cable, this is 5 meters. So this will extend the wire between the LED strip and the power supply. I'm sorry, and the controller. On the other side of that too, you could also extend the wire between the LED controller and the power supply to put this closer to the strip or closer to the power supply. Now on our project today, I also get a lot of questions. People always ask, do you recommend using these LED channels? And I absolutely do. The reason I do is because this gives it, number one, it gives it an LED strip a nice place to stick to. It acts as a heat sink. It keeps them nice and straight. You have an even surface to stick them to so they don't droop, they don't sag. You can use a diffuser on top of it if you want. Personally, I choose not to most of the time. I don't really like the diffusers on there. And they come with these clips here that mount underneath the cabinet, and then the clips onto the channel like so, and then it'll hold it straight and hold it still underneath there. So that's why I always recommend using these LED channels when you can. They're pretty cheap, they're easy to use. Behind your TV, the same thing. Up on top of the cabinet here, those are 45s. So these are straight, they're narrow, they're right across, 90-degree angles. That's a 45, so it has it basically at a 45-degree angle from the bottom of it. So it aims the light backward and up, where this is just going to shine straight down. So what I have here is I have a 1 meter strip that's inside of a channel with the diffuser on right now. But I want to show you one consideration you have when you want to mount these is placement. So be careful where you put them. If you put them out towards the end of your cabinet, Generally, the further out, the better light you get on your counters, but you're going to see this diffuser when you're standing in your kitchen. So you want to mount it back about 4 inches or so, maybe 5 inches. If you put it back too far towards the wall, you get a lot of light back here against the wall, but hardly any in the front of the counter. So you want to mount it generally out a bit, but not so far that you can see the diffuser. And so the second thing you want to watch out for is you see on the bottom of these cabinets how you have these ridges here, like here at the end, and in the middle you don't have anything there. So when you go to put these channels up, you can only screw them in here on the sides, right? So here and here. Or what you could do is you could put a piece of filler material in here, like a, you know, if this is a 1/2 inch, put a 1/2 inch or a piece of plywood in here to act as a filler. So give you something to screw it to. What I'm going to do on this one is I actually have a couple pieces of plywood I screwed together. Now what I could do is just mount this in there. Back over here, obviously, is where I want to do it, because this strip is going to come this way, right angle will go that way. I could put it over here, so it gives it a place to screw up to, these channel holders. But an alternative to doing that, and what I actually think I'm going to do, these are real soft aluminum, so they're easy to cut. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut it to the length of the cabinet here. So I'm going to put one span here on this cabinet. Another span goes front to back on this cabinet, and then I'm going to notch out the edges on this so I can have a place to put the right angle. Then I don't have to worry about putting a piece of wood on the bottom side of the cabinet. So the question came up while we were filming here on why you want to go from the cabinet edge to the cabinet edge and not up underneath, right? So you could go underneath, mount these mount these channels inside underneath the cabinets, but then when it came down to getting around to these brackets, the end of the cabinet here, you'd have to take the strip and go around it, which is going to cause the light to go this way, that way. This way gives you one uniform level, all aimed down. You don't have it pointing different ways. So that's why. So next step, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these to size and mount them in those channels. So one thing I forgot to tell you is how I'm going to wire this. So we got the channels up on this side now. I'm going to put the channel on this side, and then I will come back and show you how we're going to wire it. But we're going to wire it all off of the outlets up here for the microwave and for those lights and those Google Homes. We're going to wire it up there, and then I'm going to show you how to use the extension wire so you can run multiple light strings off one controller without having to jam 4 wires into one controller. I'll show you that too in a second. So let me finish putting up these channels on this side, and I'll put one more channel over there, and then it'll match the cabinets, and I'll show you how we're going to wire it. All right, so the question I get on these is how do you wire up 3 legs like I want to do here off one controller? So let me show you how I'm going to do that. On the controller side, I'm going to put just one leg in, right? So you're going to have these 6 wires into the controller, and that's fine. Now this is where you're going to have basically your output from your controller. And what I'm going to do then is I'm going to use butt connectors to take the other 3 legs, essentially like this. I'm going to take these 2 yellows after I strip them and put them in one side of the butt connector. Then I'm going to take these 2 yellows and I'm going to put it in this side of the butt connector. So basically what I'm doing is I'm turning one wire into 3 legs, 4 legs really, one with the controller on it. So that's essentially how it's going to be wired. One controller is going to go out and feed into these butt connectors, which you're going to have connected to the other 3 legs. So then the same power, same ground will be on each one of these. And that's how that's one way of wiring these up. It's going to take 6 butt connectors for 6 wires, and then on the butt connectors on each side, so another 18 of them. So I don't have that many. I got to go make sure I got enough, but that's essentially how I'm going to wire it. Now, the other way you could do that too is you could just solder all 4 of these wires together, take all the yellows, strip them all, solder them together, tape them. But I'm just going to use butt connectors. It's fast. You could also use T-taps too. So if you wanted to run one single length of wire from here, let's say to one end of the strip, then you could just T-tap into each one of these wires individually. So you have one leg here and then another leg here. That'll give you the 3 legs. Let's say move it up a little bit. You'll have 3 legs then for your wires, for your strips. Right? 1, 2, and 3. There's a couple different ways of wiring it. That's how I'm going to do it though, is just with butt connectors and 4 wires in each one. These are 20 gauge wires, and these butt connectors are for, the red ones are the small ones, so they go for 22 to 16 gauge. So you can fit 4 in there pretty easily. That's how they're going to be wired. Okay, so we get the wiring done up here. Finish that up. I got the controller up here. I got the power supply up here. I'm just going to plug the power supply into the controller now. The light should turn on. I'm going to go ahead and add it to the Hue app. Settings, light setup, add a light, search. So it should turn green when the app finds it. The light should turn green. And it just turned green. Now it should pop up here. There we are, extending color light 1. I'm going to change it right now. I'm going to change it to kitchen cabinet. Lights. Do that. Let me go back, add it to a room. Rooms and zones. I'll add it to kitchen. Kitchen cabinet lights. Now we're in the kitchen cabinet. Now we're in the kitchen. Okay. So now you go back out. Go to the kitchen. I should have, all right, there's blue, over to purple and red, to orange, flip it over to white, there's warm light, let's go over to cool light. All right, and the wiring I did over here, I thought I messed it up, apparently I didn't because it works, so that's good. Back over to yellow, red. And now we can finish, I'll finish putting this up, we'll put everything back and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Obviously, minus that cabinet over there, we have to do, I get some wires. But this for now is done here. Okay, thank you.